Good morning. It is 6:35 a.m. on Thursday, November 10th, 2016. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I didn't sleep well last night. Kind of had racing thoughts and a little bit of stress, internalized stress, stomach ache sort of thing. I don't want to put all of that on election anxiety, although I'm sure some of it comes from there. I don't know. There's an element of it that is continued sleep deprivation. I think just the sooner I can try to get settled into a new pattern, the better. It's interesting because over the weekend when I did my extra life marathon and I stayed up a whole night and then I had this clever plan to try to minimize the impact on my daily sleep schedule. Um, so I started in the morning after getting a normal night's sleep. Slept a few hours afterwards, but not a full night's worth, and then tried to resume going to bed with being able to sleep in a little bit on Monday, and then attempt to be back to normal from there. And Tuesday actually was feeling pretty good. I was actually thinking to myself, it's like, gosh, have I just successfully reset my schedule that I'm perfect now? And I don't know. It's possible that I did, but then did not sleep well either Tuesday night with the election stuff or last night. So, not feeling great in that regard this time. Last night, last night in the evening, we recorded the latest episode of So Many Levels, number 4, and that continues to be so much fun. Honestly, I'm loving that so much. It was a source of joy on an otherwise stressful day. So great. Um, and the but there is only just that I was kind of riled up by that. It's like I was kind of my mind was aflame with possibility and so on. And it was a little hard to my thoughts were kind of racing a little bit as I was trying to sleep, and I think I probably didn't get as much rest as I might have otherwise. Oh, well, I'm not going to talk too much about election stuff, but one just a correction to yesterday is that in my video yesterday I mentioned how I said that Trump got more votes, and so that I said that based on the estimate of the popular vote that I had seen when I recorded the video, but apparently, as more numbers came in, it's another one of those situations where Trump won the electoral vote, but Hillary actually won the popular vote by a little bit, like 300,000 votes, which actually doesn't sound like a little bit, but when you're talking about, like 39 million, it's small in that regard. It's, a few tenths of a percent. But still, I'm actually not one of the people who insists that we need to get rid of the Electoral College. But, even though obviously it didn't turn out in my preferred way this time, but that is one of those governmental things that can really go either way. And you see both parties be either for or against those things depending on how stuff has turned out for them this time. Um, so I don't know. I don't necessarily think that the problem here is that our government system is wrong. Um, so I don't know about that, but certainly in this case, in this particular example, it did not turn out the way we might have preferred. At the same time, though, there's a little bit of an element of feels a little bit just like a grace note on the whole thing. Just kind of like, oh, well, it's bad, but, maybe there's just still just an edge of hope on there. Anyway, so I'm just continuing to, you know, move along. So just because I haven't mentioned it recently, I posted on Twitter about this the other day. My elbow's a lot better. Um, my palm and elbow over here that where I tripped and scraped them are almost completely back to normal. And then my elbow that I had hit on the pole, I would say is almost completely back to normal too. It sometimes aches a little bit, but not nearly like it was. It's vastly improved, and I have no reason to believe that it won't continue to improve until it is also 100%. And so, there's good things happening. I think, though, that as, just sort of personal tasks to set for myself, I need to really be more diligent and proactive about trying to make sure I'm getting enough sleep. And it's one thing to sort of want to say that in a general way, but my general desire is not getting it done. So I might have to start like setting bedtime alarms for myself or something like that. And certainly I might have to start setting them earlier than I would prefer to make up for, there's some evenings where I just can't practically go to bed that early. But that would be more okay to stay up a little late on one night or another if I'd been getting more, enough sleep on a regular basis. But yeah, and then also I think, I periodically go through short bursts of being interested in meditation. But when I was having kind of the racing thoughts, like the game was of Dungeons and Dragons on so many levels, super fun last night, but I had a little bit of a hard time sort of settling back into being relaxed and ready to sleep afterwards. And so that's all that, and any kind of additional internalized stress might be a good thing for me to, dig that out again. Try doing that a little bit. Anyway, a lot going on. So tonight, I think I'm actually, assuming I'm feeling okay, I'm planning to go to a hockey game with some of my friends from work. Which, I don't especially follow hockey, but it's fun to go to these live events every once in a while. It's kind of just novel, communal, that sort of thing. So that's the plan for tonight. Oh, and I'm just realizing I have still not reviewed Doctor Strange. Maybe I'll try to do that tomorrow. The short version is the visuals are super trippy, and I think that's the best thing about it. And I don't mean that as like a criticism. That I mean like they're that good. That was my favorite. Um, I think the story is more ordinary by comparison. Um, but ordinary is not bad. It's fine. The story is fine. It is equal to the average of the Marvel movies, which I would rate as good. And then the visuals are just amazing. I love the visuals so much. Very good. Um, yeah, so I'll talk a little bit more about the casting controversy when I review it in more detail. But on the whole, capsule review, I liked it. Worth seeing in the theater, especially because the visuals are the key appeal. All right, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes. How about that? Huh? 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 Had a little bit of caffeine. I'm already feeling a little better. All right.